Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we will see how to build a modern type-safe forms using TanStack React Form with Next.js 15 and built-in validations. Whether you are building a simple form or a complex multi-step wizard, this tutorial will show you exactly how to create forms with powerful TanStack Forms library. Add client-side validations, submit the form with the new server action in Next.js 15, and reset forms after successful submission. By the end of this video, you will have a fully understanding of using TanStack forms with Next.js 15. So, if this sounds interesting, then stick around. Also, don't forget to subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so that you don't miss the videos like this one. So let's get started. Alright guys, so now you can see that I have my Visual Studio Code open. Now first we will start by bootstrapping our Next.js application. So what I will do is I will use npx create next app at the rate latest and we will give name of our application. So my application name will be Next.js TanStack Form. Alright, I'm going to hit enter and it is going to ask us few questions. So I would like to use TypeScript, yes. I don't want to use ESLint, no Tailwind CSS. Yes, I want the directory. Yes, I want the app router, turbo pack, customize alias, no. And our application will now get bootstrap. So it is installing all the dependencies, React, React DOM next. And we will also need few dev dependencies for types. So we have the type nodes, type React and type React DOM. Alright, so I have opened my application code here. Now we can just do a quick walkthrough. We have the tsconfig file where we have the TypeScript configuration. Then we have the package.json file where we have our dependencies installed. We have the Next.js config. Then we have a source here and inside the source you will see that we have this layout which is the layout of our application and then page.tsx which is our home page. So what I will do is let's run this application first. So I'm going to go here and I will have the yarn dev and our application is now running on the localhost 3000. So I'm going to copy. Let's go to the browser. Then this is our application. We see here an issue. This is a hydration issue. So what we can do is for now we can just go to our layout and inside the layout here we can just add suppress hydration warning so that we don't have the warning. Now next what I will do is let's remove the boilerplate code. So I'm going to remove all the boilerplate code from here. So let's remove everything. All right, and I'm going to simply have a div and here I will write Next.js so that we see only Next.js here. Now in this we are going to see how we can handle the forms and how we can submit the form in Next.js. And when I say handle the form, we will be using TanStack. So if we go to the TanStack, so this is a high quality open source software for web developers. And they have a lot of modules here, start, router, query, table. We will be exploring the forms today. So I will go to the forms. I will click on get started. And first we need to see that how we can install the TanStack form into our project. So I will just zoom in a little bit. And here you can see that if we are using yarn, we can simply use yarn add TanStack React Form. So let's go and let's do that. So I will go here and I will close my local server. All right. Now what we can do here is that I will use the yarn add TanStack React Form so that we can use the TanStack React Form in our project. All right, so I'm going to hit enter and this will install the TanStack React Form. All right, so it is installed. Now what we will do is we are going to create a simple create account form where we will have the fields like full name, email, password and confirm password. And we will see that how we can build this form using the React Form and also how we can handle this form and manage the submission and validation part. So what I will do is let's go to the source and I'm going to create a components folder here. So let's have the components and inside the components I'm going to create a component with form.tsx. all right, so that now we have this form.tsx. Now what we will do is let's create a function. So I will have the export or maybe I will have a constant form. This will be an arrow function and then I will have the export default form. Now we have this, we can just use this form in here so that we can see the forms. So I will have the form here. All right, so we have this form component here. Okay, it is complaining because we don't have a JSX in the form yet, but we are going to write it soon. Okay, now inside the form is what we need to do is first, if we want to initialize a form, how we can initialize the form using TanStack. So I will just go through and give you a walkthrough here. So let's go to the quick start. And if you want to initialize the form, you can make use of a use form hook, and then you can just initialize your form like this. So let's go and let's do that. So what I will do is I'm going to go here. I will have a constant form, and I'm going to use the use form here. All right, this use form will come from the TanStack. Now here I'm going to create my form. So first we will have the default values. So let's say we have the default values for our full name. So I'm going to have the full name here. I'm going to give it empty string. Then I will also have a email. For that I'm going to give the empty string. I will have the password, and I will have the confirm password. So let's have our confirm password. Okay, now before that I will also need to add some CSS so that whenever we create the form, it will get the styling. So I'm going to go to my global CSS, and here I'm simply going to paste some CSS code here. So let me go and I'm going to put some CSS. So it's a very basic CSS. I'm not doing much here, just giving some display and have some alignments. So whenever we create the form, we get that alignment. So this is how I have simply created a form which has 4 fields. Okay, now let's write the JSX for creating this form. So I'm going to go here. I will have the return, and I'm going to have my JSX here. Now I'm going to create a div, and inside the div I'm going to have a h2 tag, and here I'm going to write Next.js plus TanStack form. Okay, if we go and see, we should be able to see something on the screen. So if I refresh it, oops, we see an error, and it says that use state only works in client components. All right, add use state directive at the top of the. So what happens is we are creating a form, and we have to make this component as a client side component. So let's have the use client here. All right, and now we have this Next.js plus TanStack form. We have that. Now let's start creating the form. So if I want to create a form, what we can do is we first have to have a form tag here. All right, and inside the form tag we have this form field from the FieldApi. So if we go and see in the TanStack, and if we go here, then if I go to the basic concepts, then here you can see that how you can actually create the form. So there is one way you use the form options, and you can also use the form instance, which we are using. So we are using the use form, which is a form instance. All right, and whenever you create, you also have this field from the API. And this field actually helps you to create the form. So field represents a single form input element, such as a text input, or it can be a checkbox. So you can just create like this form.field. So let's do that. So I have a form.field. Okay, I'm going to make this as a self-closing tag, and I'm going to show you different ways how you can create the form element. So first one is this one. Here what I will do is let's give a name, and the name will be full name. Then I will give the children. So you can also pass the children here, and in this children you can actually create your input field. So I will have my field here. All right, and in this field we can create our HTML. So I will have a div here, simple, and inside the div let's give a label first. So I will have a label. To the label I will have HTML4, and here we can give the values. So this field dot name, we can use it here. So we have this field, let's use the field here dot, and we can have all the values here on the field. You have the handle change, you have the handle blur, you also have the name, which is we are going to use it here. Now let's create the input. On the input I will have the name of the input. So the name will be the same, field dot name. Then we are going to have the value. So the value would be field dot state dot value. So I will show you what we actually have on the field is if we go on the TanStack, and if we scroll down, whenever you have a field, on that field you also have a field state. So this was a field, and on the field we have a field state. Now this field state contains the value, and it also contains the meta, which has the error and is validating upon it. So if I scroll down, then you will see that whenever we try to do the validation without using any schema based validation, just pure validation using the TanStack form, then in that case this field.state meta is very useful. That actually helps us that whether the form is touched or pristine or it's dirty, and based on that we can generate our validation messages. So we are going to see how we do this in some time. So let's go here. We have the field state and the value. All right, next what I will use is on blur. So I will have the on blur here, and on blur I will have the field dot handle blur. So we have functions here, handle change and handle blur. I'm going to use the handle blur. And the last, we will have the on change. So let's have the on change. On blur is optional. I mean, if you click on the outside and you want to make some function, you can always use the on blur, but this is optional. We are not doing any functionality for handle blur, but we just keep it. Then we have the on change, and on change, what we will do is we are going to have the event and we will assign the value. So we will have the field dot handle change, and on handle change we will have the event dot target dot value. So if we are not using the TanStack form, then the other way to handle the form in the React is we create the state variable, and then on change we assign the event.target to that state variable, and that's how we take the values. All right, so this is a different way. Now once we have this, we should be able to see something on the screen. So let's go. Okay, and we don't see the label here, so let's add the label. So I'm going to go here. We will have the full name. All right, so we have the full name. Next, what we will do is we are going to have our email. So I'm going to go here again, and let's have one more field. I will have the form dot field. All right, and in this we are going to do it a little bit different. So here what I will do is I'm going to give the name to this, and the name would be email. All right, and inside this let's have the field. So this is a different way. You can either use a children here, or if you don't want to use a children, you can directly use this field here. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to put the field here. All right, now in this field I'm going to change this to email. So let's have the email. All right, I will have the same field name value here, and the rest everything will be the same. So if I go and check, then I have the email as well. I'm going to just change this to email, and I will also change this to full name. So let's have a full name. Okay, so we have the full name, we have the email. Now let's create it for the password. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to do a copy of this. Copy, we're going to put here, and we're going to put here. I'm going to save, and let's change this. So this is going to be password. Now this name should match from the names which you have defined it here. So I'm going to copy this, and let's put the password here. All right, this will get changed to password, and we will have all rest fields as the same. Okay, and the last one was the confirm password. So I will have the confirm pass. Oops, this will be, I will remove this and I will put it here, and I will copy this name and I will put this name here. Okay, so we have the confirm pass, and then we will have everything as same. So we have all the 4 fields. Let's create the button here in the end. So I'm going to have the button, and on this I will have the submit, and here we can give the type of the button, and the type of the button is submit. Okay, so if I go here, then we have the submit as well. All right, so now our form is ready. Now the other thing what we can do is once we make the form, we can also use the validation on this form, and this validation can be done either you do it with the schema based validation, like if I go here and I show you. So either you do the form validation. So there are a couple of options to do form validation. So if I scroll, then one of the way is standard schema libraries where you can use Zord, ValidBot, Archetype. If you don't want to use any of the library, you can still do the validation using the TanStack form. And I will show you how we can do it. So there are 2 ways you can do the validation: field level or on the form level. So I'm going to show you both the ways. So let's first do the validation on the field level. So I'm going to go here, and this is our field. This is the full name, and I will show you how you do the validation on the field level. And here you will have one more prop, which is the validators. So I'm going to take that validators, and on this validator, what we do is we are going to have a on change. So let me have the on change. So whenever we change any value on the full name, we're going to get the value here. So let me have the value which is we are changing. So we have the value. So on the value, what we will do that if we have a value and if it is true, then in that case, what I want is full name is required. All right, but if this is not the case, then in that case I can have one more, that if the value dot length, so the length of our full name is less than 3, then in that case we are going to show a error message, and this error message will be full name must be at least 3 characters, and if this is false, then in that case I will just have an undefined. Okay, so this is how you do the validation on a field level, because this was one of the field and we have did the validation here. All right, now once you do the validation, you will not be able to see anything here. So if I do submit or if I do anything, you will not able to see anything here. Now to display the messages, the error messages, what we can do is we can go here. This is a div, and here I can have my messages. Now whenever you do a validation, your error message is always on your field.state.meta, which is I showed you here. So if I go here, if I go to basic concepts again, and if I scroll, then your error messages will be field.state meta and then errors. So let's display that error. So I'm going to go here. I will have my field.state.meta.errors. All right. And if this is true, then I have to display something. And if this is false, then I will just display null. Okay. And in this, what I will do is I will have the em tag, and let's give a role to it. So I'm going to give the role as alert. All right. And here we can define the error. So I will have my error as field.state.meta.the_errors. All right. So we have this errors here. Now let's go and let's check. So if I go here and if I refresh my page, you will not see anything. But if I click on this and if I don't write anything, then you will see that full name is required. All right. So let's say this is, you will still see that the full name must be at least 3 characters. So I can write the page, and when I write the page, the error message will disappear. So if I go back, you will see the error messages. Now, when you have this, you also cannot click on the submit. So currently, if I click on the submit, it's getting refreshed. That's true because we are not handling the event.prevent default. So we can do that as well. So what I will do is, this is our form, and on the form, what we will do is we are going to have our onSubmit. So let's have the onSubmit, and on submit we are going to have an event where we will just have the event.prevent default, so that we don't get a refresh when you click on it. And the second statement, what I want is I will have my form dot handle submit. So let's have the handle submit. Okay, so I'm going to just have the quotes here because it is now having multi-line. So I'm going to have this way. So we have the form dot handle submit. Now when you do the handle submit, the function which you want to write on submit, you can write it in the use form hook. So this use form hook also offers, if I do on, then you see do have the on submit here. So what we can do is we can have the on submit. All right. And let's have the value here, whatever the value we are typing it in the form, and then we will have like this. Okay. Let's have this as async. Okay. And I can actually do the console log. So I will have the do something here, and here what I will do is I will have a simple console log. So let's have a console.log, and I will have the form values are, and we can have the value here. Okay, so this is where you will get all the values whichever you are typing it in the form. If we want to see, let's go and let's see. And now I will have the page here. I will have the page at the gmail.com. I will have my test. I will have the test, and I will click on submit. And if I click on the submit, I see nothing is happening. So maybe we have done some mistakes. So I have an on submit here, and here we have to give the brackets. Okay, now if I try again, then let's have the page. I will have the page. I will have test. I will have test. And if I click on submit, then you will see that you have the values. You have the confirm password test. You have the password as test, and then you have the email and the full name. So we have to validate all these fields, and if those fields are not validated, we should not allow the user to submit the form. Okay. All right. So now let's go and do the validation on the email as well. So the second type of validation which I want to show you is the form level validation. So this was the field level. We did it on the field. Let's do on the form level. For the email, we will do it on the form level. So we have a validator here as well. And here what I will do is let's have the on change first. So I will have the on change. In the on change, I will have my value. Okay. And then what we will do is I want to validate my email. So I will have if, and here I'm going to give you a small regex and dot test. Okay, I'm going to remove this dot test, and we want to test the value, and on the value you can have the value as full name, email, password. So if you do a dot, you will see that what value you want to validate. So I want to validate my email, so I will have the email here. All right, and then we can just simply return here the message we want. So I will have the email address not valid. Okay, and I will just have an exclamation mark. Now the other thing is you need to understand, whenever you do a form level validation, you always have your error messages in a form error map. So I will go here, and here we have to do this form error map, and this is equals to the use store. So we have to take the use store, and here we will have form dot store. Okay, and in the store we will just take the state. So I will have the state, and then we're going to have the state dot error map. Okay, so you have to subscribe to this. So if I go here and I will show you. So if we go, Then we are going to go to the validation. Now this is a validation on the form level. So you have to subscribe to the form's error map so that it updates and it will render. Alternatively, you can use the form.subscribe. So this is what we want whenever we do the form level validation. Let's display the error. So I will go here. Yep. And then here I will have my error message. So let me show the error message here. So I will have the form error map dot on change. So whenever we have a change, so if this is true, we are able to display something. If not, we will display the null. Okay. And here we are going to display the EM. I will display the role as alert. Let's have the role as alert. And here we have the value. So I'm going to just copy this and put it here. Okay. So this is what we have to do. Let's go and let's check. So if I click here, then we see that full name is required. So let's have the full name. So I will have the test. Now, if we want to do the email address, so I will have the test @ and then if I go here and if I go here and if I try to click on the submit, it will not work because we didn't satisfy the condition. So let's have email gmail.com. Okay, and now if I click, then we see that we have the form values here. All right, so this is how you do the field level validation. We did here the form level validation. Now the password and the confirm password. So there is one more feature offered by this is the linked fields. So usually password and the confirm password, they both are linked fields and the values in both the fields should match. So we can use the linked fields here. So let me show you how you can use it. So I will go to the password and let's go to the confirm password. So we want the confirm password here and let's put the validator here. So I will have a validator here and on this validator, we are going to have on change listen to. Okay, so this field is going to listen whenever this field is get changed and it will listen to this password. So I'm going to go here and I will have listen to which field. We are going to display the password. I want to listen to the password field. All right, and then on when we change, we are going to get the value. So let me have the value, and with value you can also have the field API. So let's have the field API. Okay, now I'm going to have the arrow function, and here what we will do is that if our value, which is we are writing it on our confirm password, if that value is not equals to the value that is in the password field, so we are going to use the field API dot form, and on the form we need to have the get field value. Okay, now we want to get field value of password, so let's have the password here. Okay, and if it doesn't match, then in that case what we will do is we are going to have a return and we are going to return that password do not match. Okay, and once we have this, we can just return the undefined from here. Okay, so this is how you can actually use the on change listen to, that whenever you change something and if that change doesn't match to the value which we are listening, then in that case password do not match. Let's go and let's try. So I will go here, refresh it. I will have my test here. I will have the test @ gmail.com. I will write the test here, but here I will write the test and I don't see anything because we forgot to display the error message. We have validation, but we did not display that error message. So let's display that. So I will go here and it's a field level. So we are going to have the field.state.meta.errors. All right, if that's true, then we have to display our error message. If not, then we will just keep it null. And here, let's write that. So I'm going to have the EM. I will have the role here. So let's have the role alert. And here we are going to display the value. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to put it here. Okay, so now if I refresh my page, all right, the page is refreshed and now let's give it a try. So I will have the page here. I will have the test @ gmail.com. I will have the test and you see the password doesn't match. So I will write the test and it will go. But if I write something, then it will say the password doesn't match. So that's how you can use this link field, which is actually going to help you whenever you have this password and confirm password and you want to link the fields. I'm going to click on submit and it will get submitted. But if I refresh it, and if there is any of the error message which is not satisfying the condition, then in that case we will not be able to submit the form. So I write the test, try to submit, I will not be able to submit. If I satisfy this condition, then only I will be able to submit the form. All right, so that's how we do the validation and everything, and different features that are being offered with the TanStack form. Now the last thing we will do is we are trying to have a server action set up, and we will be able to submit our form. So let's have that action. So what I will do is I'm going to go here, and here I'm going to have my action.ts. Okay, and here let's create a action that will help to submit the form. So I'm going to have a constant submit form, which will be equals to the arrow function, and I'm going to have the export default submit form. Okay, and this is going to be an async, so let's have the async and going to take the values. So let me have the value, which will be an object type. Okay, once I get the value, what I will do is I will do a console.log, and I will have the form submitted. Okay, and then let me display the value here. Okay, so this is going to be a comma. All right, now once I have that, what I will do is once the form values are submitted, I will do a return. Let's have that return as success true, and then I'm going to display a message. So I will have the message as form submitted successfully. Okay, now we want to have this on the server side. So what we will do is let's use the use server, because we are using server action to submit our form. Okay, now we can use this submit form in our form tsx. So what I will do is, okay, once we have the values, what we will do is we need to submit that values. So I'm going to go here, and I will have a constant response or maybe result. So after submitting the form, you will get some result, and I will have the submit form, and let's pass the value. We have to put a weight here. Now once we have this, so what I will do is set response. So let's create a state variable and store our response there. So I'm going to have a constant. I will have the response, set response, which will be equals to the use state. So let's use the state variable, which will be equals to use state, and it will have a type of string or null. Okay, and the initial value is null. Now let's store the response. So I will go here and put my response. I will have the result dot success. Oops, no, we have to put the message. Yeah, result dot message. And let's go and let's display that message. So I'm going to go in the end here, and here I will display the response message. So what I will do is I'm going to have my response, and if we have a response, then in that case I'm going to use a paragraph tag, and then I will display the response here. Okay, let's go and let's try. Okay, so I have refreshed it, and I have my form here. Okay, I will go to the network tab, and now let's type it. So I will have the page. I will have the page @gmail.com. I will have the test. I will have the test. Everything is satisfied. Now, if I click on it, then you will be see that we have this local host. We have our payload. So this was our payload, and then we get the response back. All right. So this is the form submitted successfully. So we have that response back here. Now what I want is, after submitting the form, I want my form to get reset. So let's do that one. So I will go here after submit. Where is the submit? Yes, submit. Now once it is submit, what I will do is that if my result dot success, all right, if it has a success and if it's true, then in that case I will use the form dot reset. Okay, so we can just make use of this, and it will get reset our form. So if I refresh it, and if I want to have a test of it, then I will have a test @gmail.com test. All right, if I submit it, then we see form submitted successfully and the form is clear. So that's all I have in this video. I mean, this was a simple video which actually explains how we handle the forms in Next.js and using the TanStack React Form. We also know that if we don't want to use schema based validation, then how we can validate our form using the TanStack React Form. So that's all I have in this video. I hope you liked the video. A thumbs up is appreciated. You can also connect with me via Facebook or Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter for latest updates. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so that you don't miss the videos like this one. Thank you. Thanks for watching.